which you get to battle, and we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. You get to battle at the end.
5 or 6.
Yes, at least.
Dang.
You battle King Thanos, finally.
I'll believe this when I see it.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm with Danny. By the time this ride actually comes to fruition, he probably loses his kingship to the Game of Thrones. Like
He's Grandpa Thanos.
Yeah. Ain't no king not by this point. What we
Papa
doing
Thanos.
here? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Papa Thanos. Go ahead and give me a dapper. That's the mission.
Come on, get me a beer. Oh, wait.
Oh, what? Get
My
my
bad.
medication.
Yeah.
Once you defeat Thanos, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Where's the beef?
That's not an Infinity Gauntlet. It's a life alert.
He's done for.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and I would not be the filmmaker I am today. Barely respected with no hits to my name, were it not for the wonderful world of Disney. We all love Disney, man. Whether it's the movies, the parks, the Marvel movies, what have you, man. Disney is in our DNA. And you know whose DNA it's really in? The Magic Our Way podcast. You want to go Disney hard? Never Disney soft. That's the show for you. Magic Our Way podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's all the Disney.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast. They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. In this episode, we discuss the Disney experiences and Disney Entertainment Co-presentation at the 2025 South by Southwest Conference in Austin, Texas. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, Pixie Dust and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the parks every day, letting you know that Disney will be shifting the time of Happily Ever After at the Magic Kingdom to later in the evening over the next few weeks.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and tell you about Disney's presentation at South by Southwest, where you're now free to move about the country.
And you listeners have the easy part. All you guys and girls have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Rachel.
And look, the easiest way to support us is to book your next vacation with Rachel. Also, you can leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts and a review access our show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank you, our Patreon supporters, for all that they do for us. Before we get into it, man, I got to tell you, Epic Universe, since they started team member previews on March 1st, has been ramping up that energy, man. I'm just like, this is looking pretty cool. And even the menus, the food items, the press release versions of their pictures of their food is like, wow.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I mean, they got 2.5 months to like fix all the whatever issues they may have, but I mean, like, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. But I mean, they're doing a good job. They're ramping up the excitement.
They're doing a great job.
And usually these places are like inviting travel agents and influencers. I'm sure the influencers are coming, but let me tell you this. I got no invites here, guys.
Oh.
I don't think they need to. I think they know they've got a hit, and we're going to have to pay to see this just like everybody else.
Well, wait, I'm not accepting that. We need to see who this social media person is, let them know what links we got and everything, and then see at least get the invitation.
We need to make a phone call, get her on the list.
That's it. Like, you know, we all do the actual phone. Like, you know, we all, what are you talking about?
We've been around since 2012, dang.
You know what we can do for you?
It looks incredible. I'm hearing, though, that Ministry of Magic might not be open until like real opening.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I could see that. That seems like a very complicated ride.
That's your strongest selling point, though.
Yeah.
For I saw that commercial. Everybody comes
Oh my
out
gosh,
as
it
a
looks,
Harry Potter
that
fan.
commercial is awesome.
I think that's almost like the icing on the cake, though, because Monsters Unleashed looks pretty badass.
Oh, man.
Even the How to Train Your Dragon area looks pretty badass.
Yes. It's a jewel.
I mean, I can go on forever. I'm so excited about. I was just thinking. I was like, oh, maybe we should just take the kids to Hollywood so we can do the Super Mario stuff this summer. without it being like super crowded. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to because they don't have the Donkey Kong ride.
No,
They're not
yes.
going to have all of the stuff. So yeah, I think we're just going to like both feet in, jump into it when we can. Because it looks awesome.
Rachel, you want the full size Nintendo Land. You don't want the
Yes.
California version.
No.
You want the version that got
No
in Tokyo.
Nintendo Light.
No, not
No
no,
Nintendo
exactly.
Lite.
No Nintendo Lite. You want the full Nintendo experience like they do in Japan.
You want
don't want no
you want
CC
the
Park.
Ultra.
You don't want CC Park.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man.
You want
That's
Nintendo
right.
64. Not
Yeah, you
Nintendo
want
13.
like Switch version. Yeah,
Ooh,
you want all
Switch,
of it.
huh?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what's the other thing I discovered too that before we get into it is that apparently the old Fort Wilderness cabins you can now rent on Airbnb.
No way.
Yeah, you can. If you go on Airbnb, there's a thing called, I think it's JR Ranch. And this company in Florida bought like, our property company in Florida bought like 3 of these cabins and moved it onto the land. And they have them set up and they call it the JR Ranch. And if like, I did a date for like 5 days and it was like $164 per night. I was like, it's not bad.
As a cabin?
Yeah, it's the original Fort Wilderness cabin. They didn't change a thing of it other than extend the deck that used to be on the front of the cabin, and they even left like a Mickey-shaped pillow inside the cabin, which I thought was funny.
Well, good God, Kevin.
They barely changed the thing on it. I'm just like, okay,
All right.
it's something to consider. I don't know how far it is from the parks, but if I wanted just a little time away, or the cool thing is like if you had enough people, you could rent all 3 at the same time. And you would have your own pool, you have your own picnic area, just the run of the complex itself.
Wow. So you'd have the JR Ranch, the Bobby Ewing Ranch, the Sue Ellen Ranch.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Gotcha.
Da, 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 da. Dallas on a Friday night.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds exciting. I don't know how you cook anything in the cabin. I personally have never really done any of those.
Yeah, I've never done a cabin before, but I do remember seeing those cabins. And it's kind of nice that they have a second life now. At least 3 of them have a second life. I don't know where the other ones are. Apparently, some of them showed up on Facebook Marketplace, which I thought was funny.
Okay. I watched too much Twilight Zone, so I would think they would be written that so you could go there and they try to hunt you. So
But they're going to
my
have like
imagination just goes
the
too
brain-eating
wild.
virus from like river country. It's like,
the brain amoeba.
The brain-eating
Yeah.
amoeba in the Fort Wilderness.
We'll give you a
cabins.
$20 discount if you catch the
Terrible.
amoeba. Go
That's
and
right.
have fun time at JR's Ranch.
All right, y'all. Let's look. Enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss the latest in Disney news from South by Southwest. Welcome to The Q, the segment in which we get to discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. And we are recording this show on Saturday, March 8th, 2025. And earlier today, the Disney Experiences Division and Disney Entertainment Divisions co-presented at the 2025 South by Southwest Conference over there in Austin, Texas. And the Disney fan community was abuzz with the hopes of hearing something.
Anything.
Anything.
We're easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into it, I'd like my co-hosts to think about the time when you first heard about the South by Southwest presentation. And I'm curious to know what you were hoping for, or even if you were looking forward to it. What were y'all feeling as we're getting into this thing?
I was hoping for Villains Land details.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah. That Encanto. I would like to have seen how they were planning on pulling off Encanto. That's kind of where my head was at.
Yeah.
I was disappointed that we didn't get into classic Disney animation at all.
Right.
We just did Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
yeah.
So I was a little disappointed in that, but it was a relatively short presentation. So
It was quick.
there was definitely a theme.
There was, yes.
Yeah, it
which
was-
I'll get into for sure.
Yes. Knowing that now, which I don't think I really fully appreciated before watching it, it makes sense. But
Mhm.
Yeah. It would be nice to have a little more substance
Mhm.
because these are things that have kind of been like thrown in the air. But it would be nice when they talked about it, they gave us a little more meat on the bone, so to speak.
Right.
A little more detail to compete with Epic, which
but that's not what this is supposed to be.
that's
Right.
fair. That's
D23, that's what that was. This is supposed to showcase how they're using technology
okay.
Right.
to tell stories. So this is all about tech.
But tech is good. I'm a tech
Yeah.
guy. But,
Yeah.
had that.
So, look, for those not familiar with this convention, South by Southwest dedicates itself to helping creative people achieve their goals. It was founded in 1987 in Austin, Texas, and today South by Southwest is best known for its conference and festivals and that celebrate the convergence of the film, interactive, and music industries. Like we're looking at an ad before it started, and they had like South by Southwest in Sydney. I was like, oh, I want to go there. And then they had South by Southwest somewhere else. It's like, oh, I didn't realize how big they've gotten.
Oh, no,
so
it's
much,
becoming that kind of thing. Like the convention. Oh.
It is. Yeah. It's become an essential destination for global professionals. And man, I think Disney brought the house on this one, oddly enough.
Yeah.
You know, Disney says that they tell stories that fans love and invite them into worlds that they never dreamed possible and then make those places real. That's what they had on the YouTube channel. Disney Experiences chairman Josh D'Amaro, Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman, and a plethora of special guests show the convergence of imagination, innovation, and the future of experiential storytelling. And just to kind of give you a heads up of the people that they brought, we had Leslie Evans, Asa Kalama, and Jon Favreau, Michael Hudson and Pete Docter, and Bruce Vaughn and Kevin Feige.
Robert Downey Jr. by surprise.
Yeah, yes. Robert Downey Jr. was definitely by surprise. Along with some bots or animations.
Droids.
Yeah. Droids. Yes. Droids of sorts. Yes.
I bet Tomorrow had got up before any of those people did.
His hair?
Oh, the hair was perfect.
It's always perfect. How does it do it?
He was well coiffed. That's why we started late. The thing actually started a few minutes late, and I texted Danny. I was like, he's fixing his hair.
It's gotta be.
Meanwhile, his co-host looks like Bilbo Baggins all grown up.
Oh, man.
Oh, poor guy. And very comfortably dressed.
Okay.
Yes.
But look, long story short, the fans got a very synergistic presentation covering the Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel franchises only, as Danny had suggested.
Yeah.
And I say synergistic because throughout the entire presentation, they mentioned the wonderful collaboration of the entertainment and Imagineering units had with each other to where the movies would inspire the parks and how the parks inspired the movies. I don't know if you caught this, but I know they mentioned Pirates of the Caribbean as inspiring the movies.
Yes.
But they didn't bring out Haunted Mansion or Tower Terror.
Or Country Bears.
or Country Bears or any of that. I was like, y'all tried to do a bunch, but Pirates seems to be only moneymaker.
Yeah, they really should not have gotten into that because one, it really didn't have anything to do with where we were going. And two, it just spotlights the fact that you're not creating original content that inspires movies anymore. That's off the table.
Yeah. Yeah, they just showed it right there. There's nothing else to say. All right, so look. There was nothing new that was presented. Well, let me take that back.
Newish.
Let me take that back for all the pixie dusters out there, right? There were new things, but there were little things associated with things that we had already heard about, to your point, Eli. You'll see what I'm talking about when we're going through the things announced. All right. So, like I said, they only did the 3 franchises, Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel. So I'll go ahead and do it in order that they presented. We can kind of chat about this, just to kind of give the listeners, if you didn't get a chance to see this live, you can get an idea of what the experience was. So, in the Star Wars portion, Disney brought out Leslie Evans and Asa Kalama for the experiences side, the Imagineers, and Jon Favreau for the entertainment side. And you're going to have this theme go out through the entire thing. And the first thing they introduced were those standalone BDX droids, which they brought on stage. They have quite a few of them.
They love those things.
Yeah, absolutely love those things. They talked about how they got them to learn how to navigate the environment in which they're walking around by using a virtual environment to help them program each other to do things.
AI, boy.
Yeah. And it's funny because I texted Danny. I was like, man, it's giving me Terminator vibes.
Terminator.
Walking
Big time.
Untethered and learning how to navigate a terrain without the assistance of humans.
Yeah.
There was actually one point where they were bragging about the fact that these droids can course correct, if you will. Like, if you're going down the stairs and you stumble, that it can catch itself. There's actually part of the video is a droid walking and they're like poking it with a stick trying to make it fall down. And this poor droid is trying to keep its balance.
I don't want to fall.
This is droid abuse, man.
Droid malpractice.
Oh my God. Boston Dynamics is a company that does a lot of these kind of droids.
Yeah.
And they made a dog. I don't know if you've seen this video, but they put those videos out there. But there's like scenes where they have this little robot dog and they're just kicking the piss out of it. Like kicking it, poking it with a stick, and then the dog doesn't stumble. He just kind of corrects.
Oh, that crazy
Michael Vick developed.
He did. It was crazy. He went Michael Vick on that little robot dog.
Is it like that? Is it the one I've seen this on YouTube before? Like they do stuff with military training. It looks like something you see on Black Mirror or something like that.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. These droids are crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. The technology is just amazing. Well, anyway, if you're in Tokyo, Paris, or Walt Disney World, currently they're in Disneyland, but they're coming to you.
Oh.
They're coming to invade your space.
Somebody's losing their job when these robots show up. I promise you that.
They're going to have to put those droids behind a fence or something. Because guess they're going to be trying to scoop those little things up and take them home.
Yeah, take them home.
I say, they're itty bitty, man. I could shove one in my backpack.
I've got my souvenir.
Okay. Come serve me something there, Herbie. You know,
learn how to mix drinks, droid.
Hey, that's worth it.
My bar DX droid. There you go.
That's worth it.
And the way you tell the droids apart, it's like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They all give them different colors.
It's adorable. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. One had orange, one had blue, one had red. It was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. But that's what they led with. And, Leslie and the droids went off. So that was that. And so all you had left was Asa and Jon Favreau. And so the next thing they talked about was that they were updating Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which you knew about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With some Mandalorian and Grogu scenes. And they did announce that they're planning to debut those scenes on Memorial Day 2026, the same day as the Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu film comes out.
See, they finally get the synergy part. I mean, it's still, it's a risk, but take the attraction. There's a movie, hopefully both get popular. And this soars.
Well, except for the fact that I think the public
is kind of
demand for the Mandalorian is kind of calmed down quite a bit.
I was hoping it wasn't just me because once the Luke one happened, I hadn't seen. Yeah, like y'all told me Lizzo was in like the next season. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. I'm surprised it's going to be this long. Yeah. I thought that was going to happen sooner.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been like 7 years and we've been getting the exact same boring adventure. Coaxium, yay.
Yeah. You're
getting one or two.
But it does, we've talked about this on previous shows too, where like a bunch of different attractions will end up going away. But they were like, well, what's wrong with updating it?
Well, and you would think that this would be something relatively simple to update.
Yeah, it should, in theory, it should be, but I'm not sure how it works with flying through planes. I mean, the thought is awesome, but if I'm not hyperspacing in these places, then, I ain't getting my extra money.
Hyperspace?
I'm sure you'll hyperspace.
There's got to be hyperspacing.
You have, but they should make it longer because that's a very short attraction.
Oh, you got to turn over people, though.
Well, here's my question on this. Are they going to be completely redoing this attraction then? Because it completely changes the timeline. This was a question I kind of wanted to pose to y'all when that whole Luke and that young Luke appeared in Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge announcement came out. Yeah,
meet and greet.
And I'm like, okay, but how does he fit in this timeline? He should be at least old Luke. Maybe Luke hasn't died yet because Kylo Ren's still around, so he should be old Luke.
That's fair.
But they're bringing in young Luke. So
yeah, I think they did say that they were abandoning the timeline.
Yeah. Now, I
think they should, yeah.
It's nice how that works.
But I don't see them changing Rise of the Resistance anytime soon. So you're going to have these two different attractions in the exact same land. There's really only two attractions taking place in two completely different timelines with absolutely no explanation.
You're right. There's no continuity between the two.
My question is whether or not because again, I can't imagine they're changing Rise of the Resistance. My question is, will they be replacing Hondo in Smuggler's Run? Because would it make sense in that, so it's a Millennium Falcon, why not change him with an AA Han Solo?
Han Solo, yeah. The other smuggler.
Exactly.
Nerf herder.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool.
You can see a Nerf.
At least it would be someone familiar with, and then you can.
Sure.
Yeah, I would
love that.
Right. Because I mean, if during this timeline Han's alive, then what is Chewie doing working with Hondo, giving tours in the Falcon?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Oh, do you give Lando that same thing? Do you have those? Because that's still time continuity thing. I mean, I'm not the over Star Wars continuity guy, but that's the only other.
I can see that Lando, and then Han comes in on the video screen. Yeah, maybe what's his name comes in now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those are two people I know to fly that thing, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Mandalorian is in between the two trilogies, so I guess it's not that far off. But it is still pretty far off.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you saw young Luke in The Mandalorian, you popped. As soon as you saw young
awesome.
Luke, whoa, that's Return of the Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's arguable Kylo Ren probably isn't even born yet.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
they haven't got married yet, yeah.
If there's a way to take that gunner position out and make it a baby Grogu position where you can hit the button and things lift on the screen.
That's something else. Yeah.
I know he's going to be there.
Yeah.
They are going to have him in there.
So reimagine that navigator seat.
That's what I meant. That's better than the gunner. Yeah.
I can see that.
It couldn't be that long after Return of the Jedi, because if you remember, they said they were going to go to Tatooine, Cloud City, and you were going to see the wreckage of the Death Star floating around.
The second Death Star,
second Death Star from Return of the Jedi floating around the moons of Endor. Before, when you see it in Rise of Skywalker, it's already crashed into the ocean. So it couldn't have been too far if the wreckage is still in space.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, they showed some of the scenes for that and during the presentation and stuff, so they're kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, they talk about storytelling here. I'd like to know if they're even going to try to address the timeline differences, because my guess is no.
I'm guessing no as well.
That's a pretty good guess.
And speaking of storytelling, my question is: Are y'all looking forward to the movie itself?
No.
Grogu and
Mandalorian Grogu.
If I had seen the fourth season,
I'll go see it.
Is Elizabeth gonna be in the movie? Because no.
Oh, I don't know if Liz is going to be.
I don't even remember her in the last season. I don't really remember the last season, to be honest with you. I thought they ended it on the perfect note.
I agree
with Luke Skywalker. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the title of the movie is Star Wars: The Mandalorian Grogu.
I think once they named the baby, that was it.
I think so too.
I think that's when he jumped the shark or ate the frog or whatever you want to put it.
All of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll see it in theaters.
You could see it in theaters?
Yeah, I think I'll go see it in theaters.
I might.
Yeah, I might. I mean, consider it.
But it's not like I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I'm not chomping at the bit.
I know you guys, you don't feel the same way about it, but I'm not excited for Mandalorian the movie as much as I am excited for Andor.
I don't know Andor.
You speak very high of it. I haven't had a chance.
I started watching, but it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, where I haven't made it through yet, and not because it's bad. It's just, I don't know. It hasn't caught me yet.
Yeah, you have to invest. It is an investment. I wasn't really hooked until like halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's always in the back of my head. It's like, I know Rachel talks about this, and it's like, I should give it a shot.
But there's a lot of material.
There is a lot of material.
There is a lot of material. Yeah. Speaking of material, look, for those that like to play the home game, so to speak, they mentioned that they are working with Epic Games to develop an online universe which could connect gameplay from Smuggler's Run into a home video game.
Yeah. Heard it all before.
Further synergizing everything else.
They should not be hiring nobody that got the name Epic if I was there.
I heard before when Galaxy's Edge was opening that, what you do there is going to affect every decision you make throughout the land, and people will remember this and nothing. So I'll believe it when I see it.
That was the Jedi mind trick.
It's like Robin Williams who turned into Pinocchio. Whoop.
Yep. Well, not only that, what happens when you sit down Smuggler's Run if you sit down with a family that has no idea what they're doing, their kids piloting the ship, and you crash and burn, and now you're screwed in the game.
No coaxium.
You got no story.
Coaxium.
Yes, that's right.
That's true.
So that was it for the Star Wars part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That nothing else.
Well, that's a lot of action.
That was a lot of action. There was a lot of big names just for that. So we move on to the Pixar portion, and Disney brought out Michael Hudgens for the experiences side and Pete Docter for the entertainment side. Fun fact, I learned from this presentation that Pete Docter loves the Tiki Room.
Yes, I thought that was very interesting.
It was interesting. So much so that when he was little, he bought an air compressor so that he can get a home-built robots to do the same thing. He said that.
Which is so clever.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought oh, wow, that's how you make them work. Like, that's awesome.
He joked about it too. He's like, I was going out every night. I was the most popular kid at school. I'm trying to make robots work with air compressors, which I thought was funny. I was like, all right, cool.
That's a heck of a
brilliant. But then I got to think, I was like, can I do that? I have an air compressor.
Yeah.
Can I make my kids' dolls do weird stuff?
You should do that. You should totally spook them. Like, just rig the room. And
in the middle of the night.
Also like, hi, Ella.
Oh, man.
I know your secrets.
So, all right. So they talked about the Monsters, Inc. Scare Floor roller coaster.
Oh, okay.
Which is a roller coaster ride, of course, through the Scare Floor, as they described. This is probably the best thing, in my opinion, this is probably the best thing to come out of today's presentation.
Yeah, that was the one thing I went wowing in the group chat.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And yes, we've heard this before, but this morning we got a glimpse, and I'm big on ride systems, so this is really exciting for me, but we got a glimpse of the technology that is going into this load and unload area and the lift hill, so to speak, which is not going to be a lift hill. It's literally lifting you.
Yes.
it's there's no hill. It's just you load the car and it's straight up. Yep. And then you take off into the ride, which is going to look, according to the computer imagery, it's going to look really awesome if you're in the queue looking at that. It's like, oh, that's high.
The doors will go right up.
Yep. The doors will go right up, and then you're off.
And the poop will shoot right out.
Yes, exactly.
Guarantee Some people might pay for that.
That's fair. Well,
I think they do.
tell them to wait down below with a big net because that's happening to somebody.
Well, I can see a flip flop coming off. It's like, we told you to take off your shoes.
Yeah, if you're not ready for something like that, you're gonna have a problem.
Well, I don't think they're going to launch them like rock and roller coaster, like boom.
You sure?
Right up.
I've been burned before.
Now that props to them for innovating because the traditional roller coaster lift wouldn't have worked for this door vault system.
Yeah.
Props to them for doing that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, and further props because I think that's the best way to use the limited space that they have in that area. Because a lift hill does take some property, space.
Good point.
To go up at what 45-degree angle sometimes. That takes a long time just to get up there to get enough momentum to go through the coaster.
Mhm.
Whereas this way, you just go up.
Yeah.
And so you get these cars just constantly going up and down. And you're just like, okay, this is a neat little thing. And besides that, this will be Disney's first suspended roller coaster, hanging coaster, so to speak, that I've been pining for a long time.
Yes, you have.
Because they created a Peter Pan, which is a suspended ride vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why couldn't y'all do a suspended
Roller coaster
coaster
like this, yeah.
People have been doing suspended coasters all over the place. Why aren't y'all doing this?
That's true.
And now they are, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, the rumor about this has been around for 20 years that they were going to do it. And I think they even kind of made reference to that in the presentation. It's like, it took us this long to figure out how to do it right or something to that effect. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I've never seen a coaster that loads like that.
No, I never have either. But it makes sense because if you think about Hagrid's and they have that drop, there's a lot of coasters doing like a surprise drop now. Well, if you can drop people like that, then who's to say you can't go the opposite way now?
Right. Yeah.
So maybe the technology is such where they can just go whoop.
Mm-hmm.
Which who knows? Maybe Universal has it in that Harry Potter ride. They have something like that where it just because it's supposed to be the elevator,
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the Universal connection a little bit later with another property.
My stomach is doing flip flops just hearing this.
Yeah, but I'm excited about this coaster.
It's very adventurous.
This is going to be kind of cool, and I'm curious to know how much property it takes up, and if they're going to have a big ass building, kind of like Guardians in Epcot, and use that. Go away green or whatever, bye bye blue.
Yeah,
paint all over the building.
Yeah, it's good. I was going to ask you. Think it's one of those crazy things where everything's just going to be like dark around you, like.
I don't. No, I wouldn't think so.
And then, boom, you hit certain things. Like I'm trying to think.
Kind of like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, or
you gotta have a sense of
Guardians.
No, yeah, I think you got to have a sense of the space on this one.
Okay,
because that's the fun of flying around this huge door vault.
Yeah,
is seeing all the doors and seeing this vast space
that
you're in.
Sheesh, that's huge.
The video. I'm just taking a look at it. It doesn't seem to have doors.
No, you're the door.
But there's I hope they have a door there. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, maybe they will have on separate tracks as you're going throughout the attraction doors. Like maybe there's a one people track and the rest of the tracks are doors. I don't.
No, there's a single rider track.
Or the way that they have the seats and then the seat looks like it spins around. Like even if they just had a door in between the two sets of seats. But yeah, I hope they figure out a way to get doors in there. I'll be disappointed if there's no doors.
Right. I hate to disappoint you, Rachel, but this coaster has no windows and no doors.
No, they need doors. They need doors. If there's no doors, I automatic. This thing for me is competing with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which is my very favorite ride in any Disney park. And if there's no doors, it's an automatic loser for me.
Oh,
I think there'll be doors. I don't think you're going to be interspersed in the doors. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think there's going to be tons of doors.
She's serious. I do take. I worry about
I'm
that.
serious. That's a no-go. Yeah, non-negotiable.
That
There's
is
gotta be doors.
Nonsense on the napkin.
But she just touched on something like how the cars they rotate. So I'm wondering if they're going to use that for storytelling purposes. Like maybe they'll slow it down. You can check out some kind of story scene. Boom, move along.
That'd be perfect.
That's why I was wondering if it was going to be like a Cosmic Rewind, in a dark area, so that way they can spotlight on certain things as opposed to be just wide open air. You're just going wherever you're going.
I mean, I can see that because Hagrid's does that. What? There's Hagrid's at certain points the coaster slows down, so you can see the scenes that they have in there. It's fluffy and all that kind of stuff. So
right,
yeah.
Oh, you know what would have been cool if they made this not only the first suspended coaster, but the first standing suspended coaster.
Ooh.
Where like the story in the queue is like, oh, we figured out a way to attach you to the door. Maybe a little uncomfortable. Well, we probably had a little seat for you. So you can sit. So you're standing, and when you go up, you're up. You're standing on the bicycle seat.
Kevin, I don't know if I would be a door ornament. I don't know.
That's what you'd be. You'd be the door knocker.
Door ornament. Yeah, the door knocker.
That'd be awesome.
That's fair.
I don't know if I want you near Imagineering.
Let's just get
I could do it.
I mean, it would probably straighten out your spine, I guess.
I could use that.
But
pregnant women should not ride.
Yeah.
Unless you want us to catch your baby in midair. But that's cool for them.
Yeah,
as
it's
far as
exciting.
What's
It was
going
neat.
on? Yeah, props on that for the tech purpose.
Yeah, it was neat because it shows that they're working on it. It's still an active concept, and it's not just blue sky, blue light special.
Yeah.
It's not just a
it's
blue
not
sky
Kmart.
color. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Kmart for sure. So that's
cool.
good.
No concept art like, yeah, this is what we hope to do. Maybe. Nope. You got to go in.
It looks
Show
cool.
the proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
So the next thing we went on to is the Cars attraction, which of course we know is coming to quote unquote Frontierland over at Magic Kingdom. But the idea they specified is going to be off-road rally race cars. And for this, they're developing a new type of ride vehicle. It's a new ride system. And from the pictures that they showed, it looks like there is a track with some kind of bumps, like the bump section and test track. You know, they said they rode like some off-road doom buggy kind of things and understood how it reacted to the terrain and whatnot. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's cool and all. So I'm like, but wait a minute, you guys kind of created something that it created the illusion of terrain.
Yep.
If you would just marry like the Indiana Jones ride vehicle with a test track vehicle, there you go. And then, because they talked about, oh, we had to figure out the suspension and stuff. It's like, well, if you did that, like I just said, you don't have to worry about the suspension because it never goes bump. The chassis goes bump, but the ride vehicle and the wheels itself just stays
Stable. Oh, well, I like that because I need my spine going bump.
Oh, I still think you go bump because of the, I mean, if you remember how rough Dinosaur is.
Yeah, but most of that, like that terrain, all of that other stuff, all those rides, they all have like rides, but those vehicles, they all have like that suspension too, so it can take a shock, shock absorbers and that kind of stuff. I doubt that's going to be in what they're going to create here.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is like they're taking a cue from that. You know how they had the German blocks and the different blocks that they have testing the suspension and test track.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what they're trying to go for, but on a bigger scale, a faster scale, so to speak.
Now you got to man up. You're going to do that. You're going to do a test track. The fun thing about test track is when you get to hit the open road and you're out, you're gone.
I think that's what we're trying to merge is that with off-road rally
I was going to say what you
racing,
can do. You're going to throw dirt in our face to give us that illusion. Like, no, that's very hard to capture that.
This ride's amazing.
Yeah, I tell you, I promise.
Right before they take your picture.
Yeah.
You have to launch.
Sell it back to you. Yes.
You
They'll throw dirt in your
It's
face.
a stunt show,
That'd be awesome, actually.
It does make you wonder, though, how those vehicles are going to hold up going over that rocky terrain.
Exactly.
Or bumpy terrain, or however you want to describe it, over and over and over and over and over again like that. I don't know.
I agree with you because I remember all the issues they had with test track and the wheels, the wearing out of the wheels so quickly on the track itself. It's like, this is, you add the wheels plus the suspension.
Yeah. I mean,
I could see this thing going down often.
I'm not an
and outside, right?
Outside, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think you would want this to be a moderate experience, not something that really jolts the rider so much so that they can't. It hurts. That it hurts, or that they have to say, we can't eat yet if we're going to do this ride. So that's kind of the impression that I got from what I saw, what they tried. But hey, God bless them. I mean, what they come out with might be different than what they're describing from what I saw that video. But
which Disney has a history of, right? The concept stuff usually doesn't match what actually happens. So,
but go easy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying.
That video they showed, like, I thought this was going to be a trackless ride, but that video that they showed, that little 3D print.
Yeah, the little white printed looking thing. Yeah, it had a big ass beam in the center. Yeah.
I'm like, who got that job? Like, if I want to work for Imagineering, I can push a car down a track. Like,
over little bumps.
And why do we even need to print that out? Why not just break out the Hot Wheels and put together the track?
I mean, that's what I do.
Right.
I mean, hell, what's that? Soaring Over California was an erector set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I didn't watch it live, but it sounds like what my son does with his Monster Jam trucks down our stairs at home.
That would have been better.
Yes.
There you go.
Actually, that sounds like fun.
Doesn't it though?
It does.
I want that job.
I want that job as well. Well, interesting enough, Pixar is working with Imagineering to create new race car characters for the attraction. So, we know the characters from Cars world, the world of Cars. So they're having Pixar is getting new characters specifically for this attraction. I don't know who they'll be, or I don't know, whatever else.
Well, I'm guessing like Lightning McQueen made her because you see in the concept art they're on like a stage, so like they're overseeing the race.
Yeah,
I
they're
guess
watching it.
So you're not going to be riding in them. So I guess they're coming to see their buddies doing off-road racing kind of.
It's probably the coach, like whatever the like he became like in the third movie he became like the coach for.
Oh right.
What's her name? Whatever the car name.
I don't remember.
But maybe he'll be your coach while you're going through. Cruz Ramirez. Yes, thank you. The yellow car.
Yeah.
Help me, Cruz Ramirez.
Cruz Ramirez, yeah. So maybe he'll be your coach through the off-road rally
so
racing.
they're like, this is how we rate you after you're done with said ride.
Or it's like, all right, take this turn. Like, make sure you take this turn at a certain speed or whatever else.
Yeah.
Now gun it.
Yeah, if you're going to do this and it's like a free kind of driving thing, I mean, not like you go all over and hit other people, but what I mean is, it's enough of a terrain, enough of a track where you actually get the feel of driving it. And today, what he said is, there's no beam, like you guys said, like, don't do that. You have to give the illusion of free driving if you're going to compare it to Tesla.
I got to think they would, yeah. Especially with Radiator Springs Racers, I got to think it's going to be a system more like that.
Yeah,
I would hope.
They sold it very well to me. I mean, the whole idea of like a race,
rally car,
yeah, through a forest, like a national forest or something like that. That looked like really cool,
like X game kind of stuff.
Cannonball Run or
with
something.
Some great visuals and everything like that. I mean, they really did sell it. But my question is, okay, you go ride this, you get off of this. Who's walking over to get into Tomorrowland Speedway line? How obsolete does that make that?
It's still going to be around 20 years later.
Oh, God. No, that thing.
But the track will be shorter.
It'll survive it like cockroaches. It'll survive the apocalypse. Tomorrowland Speedway is not going anywhere ever.
I think that's it.
Why couldn't you have built that right over there? I don't understand it. Make it a part of Fantasyland. I mean, it would have worked for me.
That's fair. And that's a very retro object.
The third movie lends to it with all the computer controlled cars and assistants. Yeah, you could have thrown it in Tomorrowland.
I don't know. I'm conflicted on that because I loved riding that with my kids when they were little. We laughed so hard. But now that they're older, I'm like, pass.
By older, you meant what, 4?
Older than 4. Yeah.
Older than 4.
Yeah. I would say it lost its like charm around 6 or 7.
There you go.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, when your kid's like, I want to go faster than that. Like, I understand.
This
ain't our car.
Well, it's funny because like once we rode like the go-karts, the free driving go-karts, like any of those little like beach towns or whatever, or tourist spots, it was like Tomorrowland Speedway was like, nothing.
Right.
Well, if you notice like that, again, with that track system that they showed with that 3D printed car, they had that little rail in between the tires, like the Tomorrowland Speedway. So who knows? Maybe we'll actually get to drive the car.
He'll look thicker than, it looked like a monorail beam. That's how thick it was.
How's that going to work when you hit this tough terrain and have to do a ramp or something? But yeah, okay.
God, what if this
I'm joking. You're not going to be able to drive the car.
Man, I was still hoping.
People will be beating each other up for the chance to drive that thing.
Well, that's a good thing. That's what we need right there. It's competition.
That would be a race.
I'm about to say, what if it was? That'd be crazy.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
You need that.
That ride would be packed. If you got to press the accelerator.
Well, that's the thing.
And there'd be so many accidents.
Well, insurance, what is that?
Well, you'll have to sign like Tomorrowland Speedway. Don't bump the rider in front of you. Kind of stuff.
That's when you jump on the Mazda Equal, go through the door to be an insurance agent.
See where that goes. I'm wondering how wild this thing's going to be because, I mean, again, A, you got to worry about the suspensions breaking down, the car's breaking down. And then 2, you don't want to give grandma whiplash.
I was kind of thinking it'd be like Indiana Jones.
I would hope, but
at most, I would guess.
Yeah, well, then they don't need all that.
Most.
At most, yeah.
All that studying, all that stuff they do, then that's a waste of resources. if that's the case, right? Because they've already discovered it and everything like that. And that's the kind of stuff that makes our ticket prices go up. All this research they're doing.
Well, I think it has to be visually appealing enough and exciting enough so that when you're on either the two mountains that surround it, it makes you want to go over there after you're done with that said mountain. Yeah. So like if I'm going up a lift hill in Tiana's, or if I'm cruising on the top of Tiana's, or if I'm going at lift hill in Big Thunder, I got to be able to look over and say, oh, that looks pretty awesome.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it has to be some kind of thrill to where it looks like it's inviting you over there.
I just cannot imagine. I mean, because if you're going up these hills and everything like that, I mean, how do you do this without shielding it from the rest of Frontierland? Like,
it's tough.
Because, I mean, how am I going to be standing out on an old West street in front of Country Bears looking out at a national forest?
Bye-bye Country Bears?
Bye-bye. They just redid it.
But, well, bears still exist now. They just tell you don't start forest fires.
Because they've been defunded. Literally, only you can prevent forest fires.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Please help us. Yeah.
Yeah, which theme park owns Smokey? I don't like Smokey. I grew up with Smokey.
I think the national park.
That's the whole park.
Which doesn't have a theme park, right?
Theme park does.
He should have his own theme park. But
Yosemite owns.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we'll see what you got. It was about the technology.
Yes.
And
that's what it was for this
the research is. That sounds good in theory. But yeah, if you are simulating jerking people to death, I'll have to get like, I didn't mean it like that. I did not mean it like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just meant bouncing people around.
Okay, that works.
Knocking their spine out of whack. Yeah.
Whacking what?
What you heard? What I said?
Anyway. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just saying I'm too sensible if I'm just going to be on a on a very rugged track. So
it'll hurt. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Hopefully it won't.
You ride that too much, you're going to go blind.
Hey, well that's my vacation. Don't judge me.
On that note, that's it for the Pixar section. That was it. The Pixar section is done.
Yeah. All right. So what's bringing up the rear here?
Bringing up the rear is the Marvel portion, which was also the last portion. Disney brought out Bruce Vaughn for the experiences side and Kevin Feige for the entertainment side.
Oh, the big guns.
And a special guest, of course, which I'll mention just a little bit. But the first thing before that special guest came out, they're talking about the Fantastic Four. So, So this summer, in conjunction with the release of the new film, fans will get an opportunity to meet the Fantastic Four in the parks over in Disneyland's Tomorrowland.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're going to get to meet all those guys.
That's some good rep.
And then also there's a plan something or other for the Fantastic Four's robot assistant, Herbie.
I was going to say, is that what the little bitty BXD?
I think, yeah.
They kind of look like Herbie minus having legs.
And that's what the guy said. He's like, yeah, we're going to have our own BDX droid. We're going to have Herbie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't really go into details about it, but something's afoot with that.
Yeah, they're trying to figure him out, how to make him stand up straight without being poked with a stick.
I was going to say, he hovers around. You got to suspend that dude. He has no arms and legs.
But I tell you what, I mean, that whole, I remember when they unveiled the Hulk. Remember they were doing you could take a picture with the Hulk.
Yeah.
But the Hulk was in that weird in-game suit with the helmet on and everything. It's like, that's not the Hulk. So this is good. I like this because I think the Thing is going to look great.
Yeah.
Who's not going to want a picture with that guy?
Exactly. Well, it depends on how you pull off that rock look. It could come off really awesome.
I think they're going to
do very cheesy. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, we're going to know soon because it comes out this summer, right?
Oh, they've gone wrong with the Fantastic Four a few times.
Well, I mean, as far as meet and greet. This is true. Meet and greet, I say.
Okay.
Yeah, this will right the ship.
No, you're right. Movies, shows, very, very bad. Cartoon, not so bad, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it for the Fantastic Four. So that's all we got.
Well, that's cool.
And the next thing we got is the expansion of California Adventures Avengers Campus.
Yeah, I could never go to Florida again.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Dude, I would not get my hopes up. I mean, look, he's about ready to go into some things, and there's one I'm looking forward to here. But I mean, there's been so much bad, the Doctor Strange attraction, the web slinger. I don't know.
The coolest thing was probably the Spider-Man robot, which
yes, that was pretty cool.
Free fall flip. Yeah,
the redo of Tower of Terror was decent. I mean, I like that.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah. That's a good one.
Cap showed up, but still, it's
I don't know. I'm excited about these two.
All right.
Yeah. So one of the two that Rachel's mentioning is the Avengers Affinity Defense attraction. which you get to battle, and we've been talking about this for a couple of years now. You get to battle at the
Like
end.
5 or 6.
Yes, at least.
Dang.
You battle King Thanos finally.
I'll believe this when I see it.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm with Danny. By the time this ride actually comes to fruition, he probably loses his kingship to the Game of Thrones. Like
He's Grandpa Thanos.
ain't no king not by this point. What we
Papa
doing
Thanos.
there? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Papa Thanos. Go ahead, give me a dapper. That's the mission.
Come on, get me a beer. Oh, wait.
Oh what? Get
My
my
bad.
medication.
Yeah.
Once you defeat Thanos, and I've fallen and I can't get up.
Where's the beef?
That's not an Infinity Gauntlet. It's a life alert.
He's done for. Close his Wi-Fi.
His blood type's A+.
No, look, hey, as soon as I'm like,
razzing.
okay, finally, but then I kind of caught myself and I'm like, well, I don't know. I've been hurt before.
I mean, this one has been something we've looked forward to since the studio was like before what it was.
Right.
So,
Well, here's the interesting thing is that they mentioned Avengers and they dropped the names Black Panther, Ant-Man, and the Hulk, and then others will join you. And I'm like,
to be others.
yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. It's like
Exactly.
others, like we know the Avengers as of MCU lore, but you name those 3. Who?
Who? Yeah.
Why could you name the other Avengers that we know?
Yeah, because Captain America should not be considered an other.
Right.
Exactly.
You know,
Iron Man should not be an other.
Right.
Scarlet,
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Hawkeye,
Thor.
Thor.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thor definitely should not be an other.
You know, those other guys that had their own movies. We ain't talking about them. Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be a whole lot of War Machine.
That's my fear, that it's gonna be like a B-level thing. And I'm like,
or any Avengers that come along the way, I guess.
and you're not going to be able to believe the authenticity of the ride.
Well,
you know?
but nothing says we're playing it safe more than bringing back Thanos.
No, all right, that's fair. Because I was like, you could have easily just been like, hey, we're just going after all of the Avenger villains that you've come across.
Exactly.
Been perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, you could have brought in Ultron,
Loki, Frost
Doom's
Giants.
coming out.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not Kang.
Well, you can do
I don't
something
think
like
he's coming
Kang.
back.
Yeah, I don't think he come back either.
Well, that
I was thinking they could have maybe started to write the ship with Kang. 'Cause I like Kang as a villain.
You can still do Kang. You just can't have the actor.
Well,
Screw that. I'm not losing no more because these Hollywood got problems. They ain't got nothing.
Well,
to do
I
with me.
think they need time before they can bring Kang back.
That's
See
funny. That's a fun pun.
Right, exactly. Yes,
Time-
we won't
I like how
be.
you
We'll
did
be like
that.
60 by the time we see Kang again.
But the point is there's enough characters that you can have their foils be there and not depend on Thanos. Thanos could be in there. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I don't know about writing it all on that and say, yeah, well, here's King Thanos. Well, it would have worked better before all of these different phases have happened. But now we've gone through so many changes.
And the phases of recent have been so just junk. So
Exactly.
there's nothing really tying everything together.
Agreed.
The only thing that's like cohesive is the Thanos timeline.
And if it's other Avengers and then like Squirrel Girl and Kamala kind of like, look, like,
you know what's crazy about this is that they mentioned that this is, it'll be the 20th anniversary of the MCU in 2028, which is only 2 years away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's craziness.
Yeah.
And of course, they mentioned this when they're talking about the Stark Flight Lab, which is where you go into Tony's lab to see the latest inventions. And of course, for this particular segment, they brought out a special guest. As Rachel has alluded to earlier, they brought out Robert Downey Jr. On stage for a very awkward kind of interaction with the South by Southwest audience to talk about Stark's Flight Lab.
He had a thing for holding up imaginary babies.
He did, and kissing them and hearts and stuff like it. It's weird. He dropped a little bit of his new mask, new task kind of thing with him being a Dr. Doom, but he went back to his Stark persona and stuff. But, this is probably the second coolest thing I found out from today's presentation, which is the whole, what they called a gyrokinetic pod.
What?
Which is what you'll ride.
Looks so cool.
It does.
Yeah.
It's their version of a KUKA robotic arm ride system.
See, I learned KUKA robotic from you, Kevin.
But here's the funny thing about their whole system, which has me curious, like, how much downtime are we going to have?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot.
Because basically in the load area, the pod in which you sit, the kinetic pod that you sit, is detached from the ride system itself. and you go down this little path, and then the KUKA robotic arm will connect with the said pod, and then whisk you away to the ride to see the inventions. And I'm like, Disney and their history with detaching ride systems always has a point of failure.
Not good.
Like often.
Not only that, anything that's whooshing me around the air and spinning me around, I would rather that be permanently welded on.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yes.
the technology, the innovation, but I would really like to know that is permanently welded on there.
Yes, if you're gonna take me and fling me around and stuff, can I have the Iron Man helmet and thing, please? And then feel like I'm that, but I would like it welded too.
Yes.
To that point.
I liked the piece of the presentation where they said that all the tech is going to be exposed. That usually they cover up the tech with theming and make it feel immersive and invisible. And that this time they're not going to do that you're going to be able to see how it all works because that's the purpose of the ride. I thought that was cool. Yeah. I hope they pull it off. I mean, I guess I hope that with everything, right? But it sounds cool.
It
so
does.
I hope it goes well.
My hope is with you too, Rachel.
My question is this though. I mean, okay, once you attach, they show you the arm flinging you around.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the concept art. No one's wearing goggles. What are you looking at? You're staring at the ceiling? What are you supposed to be experiencing?
Taking you through the lab, right? Aren't you going through the lab? I think it's...
Yeah, Tony Stark's lab.
Well, that kind of gave me hope for actual physical set pieces.
Yeah, I think it's going to be physical sets. Yeah.
So
which would be nice.
Something at the top of the lab that I'm looking at?
I'm sure they're going to have...
hangar openings and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
I'm hoping and that's a great question because I'm hoping every inch of that, once you get into the ride space, is themed
Yeah.
to the Disney detail that we know and love. There's you could look at any inch of that particular space and it's not going to take you out of the story.
Okay.
I hope.
I hope so. Too.
I hope.
It made me think about the Forbidden Journey ride at Universal. You see different parts of the castle on that one robotic arm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I was thinking instead of it being the castle, we're just going to see Stark's lab.
Okay.
Different parts of the lab.
Man, that's
But not as if I'm Disney, I don't make it as dark because that means I have.
No, you want it to be bright.
You want it to be bright.
Well, they said that it would be so that way you could see the tech and everything. That's why I'm.
Well, that
wondering
because
what
they
I'm
have
looking
no
at.
choice to theme everything. I expect Disney to. So regardless of if you're stuck and you look down, you're not going to be taken out of it. You're going to see you're going to see an exit sign, but you're not going to see unpainted cement or something.
Here's Tony's great invention. The exit sign.
But it does also say flight lab. So is it possible they're just simulating flight for the sake of it?
I would hope so, but I'm guessing they'll probably just be here's all of the suits and
maybe the top opens and it's you're outside or something. I don't know.
I don't know why they didn't just make it you had an Iron Man suit. That just seems like such a no brainer.
Well, I keep thinking of the time when he's in his garage and the Iron Man suit is coming around him and he's doing the music.
Yeah,
he's dancing and all of a sudden the pieces are coming and.
But that's the other thing, though. He doesn't really, in the movies, he doesn't really have a quote unquote workspace. He does his thing, but I mean, unless this area is going to be so big, you're going to go and you're going to see the Quinjet and other stuff that you can say, oh, he built. But
does he have a workspace in the comics? Does he have anything that
Yeah, well, he has in the comics, it's he has whole buildings devoted to stuff like that. So
could they be pulling one of those things? I guess maybe.
Well, if they're gonna do that, I really hope that the building gets attacked like that. There's
that's
no
what I'm
action.
wondering. It's is what's
oh
happening?
yeah. Well, what's the something
story?
that goes wrong in this
That's-
attraction? Yeah,
That's the thing. That's to your point, the web slingers. So you're right. I love Spider-Man, but that was boring. If you're gonna have Iron Man, that's quintessential action right there. We better have some missiles. We better have something because if it's just this is the tour of all the tech and he makes this and that and nothing happens, they just keep killing the brand for the park.
that's a good point. What is the thing that goes wrong that takes you out of the tour of this flight lab? No, I like that.
I agree with you.
That's everything
I
that
agree.
happens in Disney attractions.
Because
everything goes wrong
without there being, to me, it reminded me of the Sum of All Thrills.
Oh yeah,
except that you didn't have the covering over your KUKA robotic arm to simulate that you're going out. So if you can see everything, it's all happening right in front of you. What the hell is happening? That's what I want to know. What's going wrong that they're correcting for? But I wanted to go back to what Kevin said about dancing. I don't know if whoever saw the video, Kevin knows what I'm talking about. We talked about the people they bring in, I guess, to push the Hot Wheels car down the track. They actually brought in interpretive dancers to simulate the robotic arm.
Yes,
I
they
saw
did.
that.
Yes.
With the
yes.
broom.
They were doing the
And they're like,
choreography
we're
for the
recording-
video. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at these
Yeah.
people, and you can just look at their faces, and the people like, I feel so stupid.
A 5, 6, 7, 8, and
Cucaracha
and
left,
turn.
cucaracha
And now
right.
cha-cha-cha.
What?
Yeah.
Up and down.
I
You're
saw that.
Iron Man.
Because they're saying that they wanted to bring in the robotic arms that Tony uses in the movie. You
Yeah.
know, there was that one dummy
Yeah.
arm, and there was another arm. I can't remember what the other one's name was.
Yeah, I
but,
remember, but it was, he told
yeah.
Yeah.
and he would talk to him. So they're trying to program it with realistic human movements.
And I thought it was funny. I didn't know you were going to bring that up, but what I thought was funny about that is like, isn't this convention about technology? What they got to do with people in broomsticks? Like, I'm with you.
It was motion capture.
Yeah, it's
That's the
motion. Yeah,
technology,
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not buying
They're
that.
making robots seem more human through interpretive dance.
Well, just make the robot sweep up a room then. If that's the case, if that's what you're going to do.
A Roomba to the left. A Roomba to the right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. That was a little weird. That was a little weird.
That was
for
funny.
Spotlight.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too, but I was like, really? At least it could have been in Iron Man suits or something.
yeah.
Like, they're killing me. They're killing me on this property in the park. That's all I'm saying with that.
We'll see on this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm more excited
Jury's
about
still
the Avengers Infinity Defense.
How do you pull that off?
But I need to figure out what they're doing here, because right now all I see in this ride is motion sickness.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm looking at right
Well,
now.
That's what the brooms are for, to sweep up the motion sickness.
Yeah. The protein spills, as they
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the full name of the attraction is Stark Flight Lab Code V.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Well, look, and that was it. That was the end of the Marvel portion of this South by Southwest presentation.
And then it just ended abruptly.
It's okay. Yeah. So mine
As
cut
Marvel
off.
does. Pretty much right now.
And that was it. And went back to Austin. That was, that was nothing else that we saw on the TV. And then you're seeing clips of it through social media and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they have the replay of it on Disney Parks blog. But that was essentially all they presented there.
Yeah.
But overall, I felt like it was Disney's attempt to say, hey, while y'all over there drooling over Universal, we were just over here sipping our tea, continuing to develop our ideas. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. We're fine. We're not worried.
You talk about technology, right? We're talking about a world where if you want something to happen, it happens instantly. So you can't just say in this place of technology, we got broom sweepers and hopes.
Right.
Like, I mean, your competition, I know this is irrelevant, but Epic has the commercial, people walk in a portal and then they come out and there's something else. I'm like, man, that's just trippy. They're using technology very effectively for their commercials and how they're doing things and how they're implementing in that right now. I would say this is what I would ask y'all. Do you think if Epic had went to that convention and said, here's the stuff that we'd use with our tech, you think that could have possibly blown out what Disney would have been showing what we saw?
I think the video from when they showed the monsters from Monsters Unchained, and they talked about the realistic movement, and they showed that right away. Those AA figures had me blown away. More so,
Dude, that was nuts.
Yeah,
That was nuts.
that was insane. So I think so, but I mean, keep in mind though. I mean, Universal's pretty much they're in their end game. The technology's done. You're seeing stuff that isn't even close to being finished. This is just stuff that they're percolating. I mean, the droids, obviously, that's finished.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it would have been impressive if they would have brought out a live action thing on stage. Like, I mean, if that's coming out in a few months, why couldn't you just bring that out there and press the hell out of us?
Exactly. Build up that property.
Yeah, it's overage fees on a flight.
He is the whole plane.
That's the whole plane.
That's
right.
fair.
That's right.
He's kind of hard to get through customs and whatnot. But that's the thing. All right, cool. They're using stuff, but this is also tech that they've been talking about and teased us with for, like, I won't even say years, because years implies
Not months.
You would
At
say
least.
months.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Radiator Springs Racers and Monsters Inc. and that got announced officially only a few months ago.
But I mean, like the King Thanos ride. I mean, that's we've been talking
that's
about
been
that
around
for
forever.
Good Lord.
I actually was just looking at those videos again in the article for not the King Thanos ride, but the Stark Industries one. And it does look like they're wearing 3D goggles.
Oh, that's different.
So I do think it will be more like Sum of all thrills.
That's good then, because I looked at it, I didn't see it, so that sounds great.
No, that's good because it is a limited space. So it's like it's only so much you could do.
I just hope we
with
get
physical sets.
I hope we get attacked. Please,
I'm
Lord,
sure
baby.
that could be the thing that
Whatever.
you get wrong. Yeah,
Baby, with everybody watching, better not stink.
I guess we'll see. And that's the thing. It's like, I wonder. It's like we did all the Epic Universe stuff last year, right? They unzipped their fly, so to speak, all through last year, and we did shows.
Wow, I don't think the fly was one of the boxes unleashed yet, there, Kevin.
No, but here's the thing: it's like they did it like a year out from when they're going to open.
Yeah.
You know, but here's Disney. It's like for several, at least 3, 4. I think Rachel, you said 5, 6 years. We've been hearing pieces and bits and pieces of these things over and over again. Yes, you only eat an elephant one bite at a time, but it's like it's almost fatiguing me. It's like where I'm not as excited about the Disney stuff, but then at the same time, it's like, okay, here's Universal. They just unleashed everything a year out, but at this point in time, it's like I was excited at first, with the Universal stuff, but then it's like, okay, I know what's coming, and now we're just watching the development of the things that they said were coming.
Yes.
So maybe I'm not as excited anymore because I know they're going to build it. But now I'm just sitting there waiting to see what it looks like in real life.
It's
versus like this stuff where it's like, I don't know, they're kind of trucking me along, but I'm still not as excited because it's like it's taking forever to build or develop.
Right.
Well, and there's also that Sophie's Choice kind of mentality here. It's like, yay, we're getting a Cars attraction, but oh man, we're losing Tom Sawyer, the Rivers of America, everything we enjoy about that. Yeah, we're getting Monsters Inc. Oh, but we're losing Muppet 3D. You can't really feel completely good. Whereas with Universal, you're not losing anything. You're gaining.
Yeah, because it's all new. You're right.
Well, the innovation is hot.
I did look up the dates. So the King Thanos ride was first announced in 2022, which I guess was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But if you count that as the second e-ticket, which had been announced like 2018, 2017.
Well, it's supposed to be a Quinjet
really
thing,
long
right?
time.
Yeah, it was going to be a
It was supposed
Quinjet
to be the Quinjet thing, and then they changed it to this King Thanos thing, and now it's still, I guess, the King Thanos thing, but it's not even built yet. So, you know, so it depends on when you count, like, when did they announce it? If you count it as the e-ticket that was announced back when the land was announced, it's a really long time ago.
I'm taking
that. But then 3 years ago is when they first started talking about the King Thanos idea.
Well, to be fair to Universal, that's what I'm counting at. So, like I said, Universal didn't unzip their fly until like a year ago.
Right.
And they said, this is everything coming to the Epic Universe next year.
And that's smart.
Yeah. They are much more secretive with that stuff. Like, for example, there's a major attraction being built right now. Like Rip Ride Rocket is going to be taken out.
Yeah.
And they're going to be putting something else in. And Universal hasn't said anything about it, but like people just know because patents have been filed and, you know, then people, you know, talk about rumors, but Universal hasn't officially announced anything. And the same thing happened when they were building the Velocicoaster over in the Jurassic Park area. The thing was like physically being constructed and everyone's like, it's obviously a Jurassic Park roller coaster. And they were just like, what roller coaster? What are you talking about?
That's smart.
It's like they've got construction happening, you know, and they're just not saying anything. They're like, I don't see anything. What are you saying?
I'm with them though.
I kind of dig that.
I'm with that.
Because I tell you what, I look at videos of Velocicoaster and I was like, God, I want to ride that once.
Oh,
just
God.
once. As I get older, it's like, I don't know if I can do it multiple times, but I just want to do it once.
I've done it a couple times. It's intense. But they don't talk about things before they're like done.
That's how you should do it.
And I kind of like that because it's like develops anticipation or buy-in more so because it's like, I know you're buying, so just be straightforward. It's like, what are you talking about? I don't know.
Look, as a Disney podcast, I greatly appreciate that they keep leaking news out because that gives us content.
True. Yeah. What would we talk about? What would we talk about?
No, that's fair. You know what? That's totally fair and legit.
Top 5 snacks that you can have in line.
No kidding.
I want that Captain America sympathy.
Look, here's the thing. It's like I hope Epic Universe hits well because, like we said before, like competition does well for business.
Yes.
And if they do well, if Universal finally catches up, and I say that with confidence, if they finally catch up, Disney's going to have to respond, and that's just going to be a win-win for the freaking consumer.
It's going to do well.
So I'm definitely excited. I mean, this is, I don't know, South by Southwest, great convention. Their presentation, I can see where their point is. I like the idea of the collaboration with the 2 units of Disney, which is great. There should not be any siloing, you know, especially when creatives are involved. But yeah, I mean, this is what we got today. As we're recording this. This we got, and this is where we're moving forward. And the momentum of Epic Universe is happening. To Epic Universe's point, they got 2.5 months to tweak things.
It's a long soft open.
It's a long soft open, and it's a long time for them to get things right before May 22nd.
I think we're going
Which, to their credit, I'm just like, that's not a bad idea. 2.5 months to fix all this stuff before it officially opens.
Yep.
That's kind of smart. I don't know.
I think we need like some sort of cryogenic chamber or something, so that way we can go in and kind of cool our bodies off, because we'll have the best fun of our lives, but we will be halfway to 60 by the time we get to see how both of these parks compete at the height of what they're talking about.
We're gonna be a very virile 60.
I mean, right? It's gonna be.
That's what I'm planning.
We're talking like what 2029. Let's say everything is out of the open by that point. And so, I'm like, I got to be in some really top shape by that point.
Oh, I'm going to be working out.
They're going to be dropping us some things. We're going to be riding outdoors and then turning the boxes. Like,
we'll be going from taking our kids to the parks to taking our grandkids.
Damn straight.
Gen
X, baby.
Yeah.
Gen X.
I ain't afraid.
We are owning this.
Get my Social Security and an e-ticket.
Oh, we get that now, Social Security?
Hopefully.
All right, so those are our thoughts on the stuff that was announced at South by Southwest 2025 with the Disney Experiences and Entertainment divisions. We're curious to know what you guys think about it. We're about to tell you how to get in touch with us to share those opinions in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about the South by Southwest presentation of the Disney Experiences and Entertainment divisions. Look, if you want to share your opinions on anything we've talked about, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or text us at 1-815-WEEKEND. That is 1-815-WEEKEND 669-4226. Yes, I did say Texas. You can get a text sent to that number and we'll get it and we'll respond for sure and present it on the air. And look, we have a couple of people that do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli does things with comics. Eli, what you got?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Kevin. As always, you can visit the Ivory Comic website. You can see all the work that I have. Project Geisha, Savages, and About to Be Damned. All work is 48 pages, fully colored. That's a lot of bang for your buck. So please enjoy that. As well, you can get interviews and blogs and a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. You never miss a beat. You never miss an episode. You never miss how the arm attaches to whatever's going on in technology. It's all fun. It's all synergy, and that's how we like to do it. So I've been appreciating the support for the Ivory Comics website. In social media, Facebook, you can find me there, Eli H. Ivory. It's who I am. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. If you're a bot, I have no desire to greet you anymore, unless you're sending these little BXD droids over with some money or some cryptocurrency. Otherwise, I will hear nothing else you got.
BXD $sign.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's get advanced with it. All right, we're going to do that. Also, on Facebook, there is a Project Geisha fan page. Find that, and thank y'all for visiting that. Also, on Instagram, posting up the hearts and the likes and seeing what you fans got. You can find me right there, EIV504. And of course, on X, I can be found at Hancock10166. So, yes, if you appreciate the madness, they just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much. You don't need no cuckoo robotic arm to attach to that level of excitement. That's what I'm talking about.
And look, if you want to book a vacation next year so that you can check out the new Smuggler's Run version of the ride, or if you want to book a vacation before June of this year so that you can witness Muppet Vision 3D for the last time, or sometime maybe in July you want to go out to Disneyland to check out the Fantastic Four, or maybe in the next couple of weeks you want to go check out It's Tough to Be a Bug before it goes down. You know, it's soon. It's soon. You can book it all through Rachel. Rachel, tell them how to do this.
You can. So I help book all kinds of trips. I have people that are booked out as far as 2026, like late 2026 right now. I have some cruises in 2027, actually. So that you can even book out that far right now. Or I all the time have people that call me up and say, we want to go next month. What do you think? And we can make that happen too. Totally possible, especially in times of the year when it's a little bit slower, which like right now is pretty slow, and then it'll heat up for spring breaks, and then around like end of April, May, it gets slow again. So those times are great. And summer is actually a slow time of year now at Disney World, believe it or not. So lots of last minute, great fun to be had because there's lots of availability. And usually we can get you some discounts last minute too, hopefully. But all of those things are things that I can help with at no extra cost to you. And so whether you book for a trip that's 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now, it's always the same. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you, and I can help as much or as little as you like. I can help walk you through every single step, or if you just want somebody to help you press the button that says book and then I can do that too. But either way, it doesn't cost you anything. And a little piece of your vacation comes back to support this podcast and this podcast community. The best way to get in touch with me is email. That's Rachel, RACHEL @magicourway.com. You can also find me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Our Family Magic. So that's the letter R and then the words Family Magic. So all together, Our Family Magic. And if either of those things are like, I don't know, just a little too complicated, you can just call me. I have a phone number. My number is 978-432-WISH. You can also text me there too. So any of those ways will get a hold of me, and I would be honored to help you book whatever kind of trip you're looking forward to, whether it's a cruise or a Disney destination, Universal, major hotel brands around the world. All of those things I can book and I specialize in. So yeah, please reach out. I'd be honored to help.
In addition, you can go to patreon.com/MagicOurWay to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast. And another option that only costs a minute or so of your time is to leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwaherini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And yar. Bye.